able to give you this concert. Thank you, especially for those of you, most of you that have been out a couple nights in a row. Apologize for that scheduling. So thank you so much for being here. We've had a real special year, as many of you know. I a lot of times hate to talk about ratings and accolades and things like that. They tend to be so subjective. The experience is so much more. But it really kind of has been an historic year for us. Many outstanding section awards. Saxes? One? Yeah. They got one. By default. By default, someone's got rhythm section, should have. But twice. Twice. By default. Yeah. Okay. But the trombones did get most of it. We got to get it. I got to get the trombones a hand. I mean, the trombones. We thought the judges made a mistake, but you know. So, what was I going to say? Okay. Oh, but really, we're very fortunate. We had 5 shows and 15 judges and 15 superior ratings, and that's never happened before. And that was one of the. And one of my growth points this year was to be able to not stand in front of the band and conduct. And so that was one of the things that said, well, all the cool directors, they leave the stage and go off. So at 55, I'm trying to decide if they're going to be cool or not, so I decided to leave the stage. But I'm not leaving the stage for this next one. So one of their audition pieces was Hard Sock Dance by Sammy Nestico and Quincy Jones. And it's been a piece that's been too hard for us to play in the past, and we decided that we would throw it together for the concert. So I hope you enjoy Quincy Jones' and Sammy Nestico's Hard Sock Dance. And it features James Mannix. And Megan O'Keefe. Micah Ramos. Jeffrey Dalton. First number featured Shashank. We'll have plenty of time to talk about Shashank. one of the things I want to mention, the number of new members we have this year. So we have on guitar, we have Micah Ramos for his first year with us. You just heard him on Vibes, and he's a percussion, and last night you heard him on, what's going on back there? For our next song. And last night you heard him on alto sax, we have James Mannix. On bass, doing a fantastic job for his first year, we have Xander Bueno. On alto sax, I play an alto 2, Anna Gutzler. On tenor 2, Jake Schmitz. On baritone, Josh Freitas. On bass trombone, Sebastian Weiss. On third trombone, Lizzie Thomas. And third trumpet, Duncan Schober-Fernbeck. So I think it's somewhat of a record having 9 new members this year, and they worked really, really hard. I'm really, really proud of them. So the next number that we're playing was also a number that we played and adjudicated live. It's on the same album, if you know what an album is, of Hard Sock Dance called Grace. And that features Shashank Sridhar. Shashank is his 3rd year. Every time we go, Shashank has played like a grown-up ever since he was a freshman. So every time we go to a jazz festival, all my friends always go, didn't he graduate yet? And I'm like, he's only 13. He's only 14. And so Shashank's junior year, we can't feature him enough. And so we're featuring him on the Sammy Nestico, Quincy Jones number, Grace. Did I mention he made all-state jazz? Shashank made first tenor all-state jazz.
So, Shashank made All-State Jazz. He also made District Jazz, as well as our fantastic lead trumpet player, Zach Walter. And our wonderful lead alto player, Ryan Tuckman. And the engine that drives this whole machine, our fantastic drummer, Mr. Jeffrey Dalton. So the last number before we're going to go to a small group thing featuring the Dalton family. And before we get to that, we're going to do a piece that we just found this year called Midnight Voyage. And we're going to switch around our lead players a little bit. So playing lead trumpet this evening for this number will be Junior Alex Malazzo. And lead trombonist for this piece will be Senior Ryan Garber. That last number also featured Megan O'Keefe on piano, Micah Ramos on guitar, and Zach Walter on flugelhorn. For four measures, but he won a Best Trumpet Soloist Award at a festival for those 4 measures. So he made each measure count. before we break to a small group here, I want to make sure I introduce the rest of the original band. We have here on fourth trumpet, Mr. Nate Swicer. And playing lead trombone for us, Ms. Krishna Nayak. Well, the Dalton family is very, very talented. Last several years, we've heard Robbie on drums, who's done a fantastic job. And we have Jeffrey, and we're going to feature Jeffrey, and we're going to keep Shashank and Megan up here. And we are going to also feature Jeffrey's father, Jeremy, on percussion. And all the way from Miami, Jeffrey's uncle, Jeff, on bass. So let's give them all a hand.
Hello? Is it on? Okay. Is it on? We're going to be playing two tunes for you. The first song, it's not on? Microphone. Hello. Yeah. So, we're going to be playing two tunes for you. The first one we're playing is called This Is for Albert by Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. After that, we're going to be playing Ojos de Rojo by Cedar Walton. I got both of these songs when I went to a jazz camp over the summer, and right after I played them, I was in love with them, and I was like, when we go to the jazz concert, I'm gonna have Shashank play, and it's gonna be amazing. So This Is for Albert and Ojos de Rojo. Let's give a hand for Sashank Sridhar on tenor sax. My Uncle Jeff, who flew from Miami, Florida this morning on bass. Megan O'Keefe on piano. My dad, Jeremy Dalton, on percussion. On to the next.
That wasn't bad. Okay, I don't really have any jokes as I'm stalling for them as they leisurely stroll back to the stage. One of the things I'm really happy with the kids is that, you know, most of them grow up playing in concert bands, and they do play in their middle school jazz ensembles. But a lot of their lessons are classical in nature, and they have to learn really all kinds of different articulations. And so I try to expose them to all kinds of different styles, and they really are slavish to learning those things. I'm very proud of them for their attention to articulation, because articulation is probably the main thing that they really have to work on and change. So this next piece, anyway, this song isn't good enough to be called a piece. So this next song, is this thing on? Anyway, this next song is called Panteo, and Southern Middle School played this year. So our goal is to make sure that we play it better than Southern Middle School. Is that correct? You're going to be able to do that, correct? So nothing against Southern Middle School, but let's hope that it is better. So, and that features Ryan Tuckman on alto sax. Ryan also made County Jazz this year, along with Jeffrey Dalton. So we feature Ryan Tuckman on Panteo, and I'll get you the microphone, Ryan. Notice how good Ryan's and my relationship are. Just watch how Ryan and I look at each other. Just do that. It's really interesting. Forgive me for that lame clap. I don't know what came over me. That was that. I hope that I'm gonna make sure that's edited out of the live stream. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
All good.
Okay, so our penultimate piece this evening is a song for you, and I'm ashamed to admit that I was unfamiliar with this piece. A piece again with the piece. With this song, a classic song from 1970. I did a little research on Leon Russell to realize that Elton John used to open up for Leon Russell, and Elton John gave credit that Leon Russell was one of the great influences in his singer-songwriting career. He really led a tragic life towards the end. It was really sad to read about, but it's a beautiful song. It's heartbreaking. Oddly enough, I think the most famous cover was by the crooner Andy Williams. How many of you remember Andy Williams?
Oh yeah.
I think Andy Williams was the credit for this. So this features Shashank again, to have somebody that can play so many different styles. So many talented musicians up here, but to have Jeffrey be able to play all these different styles on drums and Shashank be able to solo over him is just it's an embarrassment of riches. So it's just a pleasure. So I really hope you enjoy a song for you. I want to acknowledge our two seniors. Ryan Garber has been a fantastic member of the jazz and the concert band and marching band for all these years, and we kid Ryan a lot, and believe me, he gives it out just as much as any. Like, for example, I asked Ryan, said what he's doing next year. He has a gap year. He said he's taking a gap year, and I think Kristen leaned over to him and said he's going to tractor school. Ryan has a farm. Ryan also is an excellent church organist as well. He does a great job with that. So let's really give a hand for Ryan Garber. And our lead trumpet player back there has made regional band over the years and regional orchestra, right? All-state choir. If you saw him last night at the concert, he had more medals than an admiral on. So Zach Walter's going to major in music, correct, at Westchester University. So let's give Zach Walter a big hand. So dedicating it to the seniors, a song for you. that doesn't make you happy, nothing won't. I'll tell you what, holy smokes. I forgot to mention, like James Mannix, who's one of the most humble people that you'll ever want to meet, when we talked about playing for jazz band, he goes, oh, I can't play drum set. Well, I can't play drum set. I won't play drum set. So Jeffrey, of course, was like, oh yeah? So all of a sudden, one of the songs, I look over and Jeffrey has forced James upon the drum set. And James, of course, did a fantastic job. Let's give James a hand for what he did. Okay, the third song that we played a lot this year for our competitions that we ended, John Coltrane's Moment's Notice. Alan Blaylock, you see a lot of same arrangers on here. The arrangers really make the jazz band. Sammy Nestico, which we did 2 earlier, is one of the most famous jazz arrangers of all time. Les Hooper, who wrote the first song. I forgot to say the first song. Last year when we were at Hempfield, we saw Westchester University perform that song. And the first time I heard it, I said, well, we're going to do that song. That was I was hit by a bolt of inspiration, and we really enjoyed the Les Hooper song. You see Eric Richards, Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor is who arranged that last song. He's really made a career for himself. He arranged a lot for military bands around DC, and he's really made a career for himself reimagining pop tunes and really putting his own take on them and just doing a fantastic job. But probably the most accomplished arranger and popular arranger right now is Alan Blaylock. Alan Blaylock also is around the Washington, D.C. area, did many, many arrangements for many groups, and now is the head of jazz studies out at the University of North Texas, where he directs the 1 O'Clock Band, which is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 collegiate jazz bands in the country. So he has he's done a lot of things now, taking jazz standards and really making them his own. So I hope I didn't forget. Did I forget anything?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan said about something.
All right, honestly, is this on? Yeah, okay, hello. So, honestly, we had no idea what to get you. And I was going to go out and get you something after school, but, my car broke down, so. It was all yeah, the idea was to get you a joke book because, you're always telling really bad jokes. We thought we'd help you out a little bit. So, yeah, but that didn't happen. He was responsible, yeah. He couldn't find a joke book.
This sounds like something my sons would concoct.
Yeah, we basically are your sons.
That's correct.
Well, so we got you card and a gift card.
Yeah.
I thought I fell into one of the old traps. I remember when I was a kid, my cousin said to me, she started talking about Kansas, and I really hated that group Kansas, especially that song Dust in the Wind. I just hated it. And I remember her going, what do you think of Kansas? I go, I do not like them. And so I go, especially I hate Dust in the Wind. So when you know it, that was their Christmas present to me. So I thought I stepped in the same trap today. I hate music ties. Because everybody's like, oh, you're a band director, let's get you a tie. So, oh, you play trumpet, I have about 45,000 trumpet ties. If you want to get on my dark side, you give me a trumpet tie. So, I can't help it. Oh, you're a trumpet player, here's a trumpet tie tack. I got trumpet tie tacks, trumpet wine charms, that's enough. I get it, I play trumpet. Next time, give me a music note. I'm a music teacher. So tonight in the band room, Zach Walter, he goes, what do you think of my tie? And it's a trumpet tie. I go, I hate that tie. And I'm like, wait a minute. They might have gotten me that as a gift. So thank you for not doing that. Ay, ay, ay. So, you have a bow tie. Oh, good. He's wearing his bow tie. All right. Well, our last number features Shashank Sridhar on John Coltrane's Moment's Notice and Jeffrey Dalton on drums. And I'm not going to speak at the end. Thank you so much for coming. Give them a round of applause. You know they're fantastic. Give them a round of applause. So true to form with my learning objective for the year to allow students to be self-directed. We got it. What? I get it. You know, it's kind of funny. Well, not funny, haha. Where are you going to solo? He's going to use his stand. You know, I've said this joke many times. It's not a joke. It's not even funny. Like when parents like want to see their kids, and you sit there, and I sit there and go, "Oh my gosh, you just saw them in the car 10 seconds ago. They were just waving to you, like there you are, there you are." And so, you know, my wife and I, like our son is in graduate school, and he walks out on stage, and my wife and I, here we are, here we are. It's ridiculous. Kindergarten, graduate school, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I hope that you enjoy, well, I know that you'll enjoy Moments Notice, and thank you again for coming.
got it.